So you've sent over 5,000 emails and you've called more than 5,000 numbers and you still only have 7 opportunities in your pipeline. I think it's time we add a little bit of heat to that pipeline. Hi, my name's Christian and I'm a go-to-network evangelist at Commsor. So it's important to remember that there's 2 types of outreach, cold and warm. Cold sales outreach is your typical cold calling, cold emailing, trying to reach out to someone that doesn't know who you are, isn't expecting your message, and most likely doesn't want to speak with you. And look, this can eventually convert. It's been around for a while, but we're starting to see the tide turn against it a little bit. I sometimes think that the consumer world and the B2B world are just on slightly different timelines. You go to the front door in a lot of cities now and you'll see no soliciting. What does that mean? No cold selling. Don't turn up to my house and knock on my door and expect me to be happy when you start selling to me. We're starting to see that same shift, but instead of the front door, it's on my email inbox. But people are doing a lot more than just putting up a sign saying, please don't cold call, please don't email. They're starting to get really annoyed by it. People are using stronger spam protection, maybe blocking numbers that they've not received a call from before in the past, so that can't even be reached if it's a cold call. And we're even seeing some states and countries putting in protection for the individuals so that you can't even reach out to them. And the important thing to remember here, with every unsuccessful cold outreach attempt, you're making the next cold outreach attempt even more unlikely to be unsuccessful. Why? Maybe that's the 1,000th email that you've sent from your email account. And guess what? After a while, G Suite starts to restrict what you're doing. It may even look like you're still sending that email, but it's not reaching that person's inbox anymore. Maybe you've heard of some of those tricks you can do where you do the triple dial so it looks like an emergency, or instead you find a way to make it look like it's a local call. But guess what? People start to figure that out and they just no longer trust any cold calling anymore. The bad behavior ruins it, even for the ones with good behavior. Just in the last 5 years alone, there's been a 500% increase in the amount of cold outbound touch points required in order to generate a single opportunity. Now, if the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, and here we're doing the same thing over and over and getting a worse result each time, we've gone beyond insanity. With all of that in mind, let's talk about warm outreach. When we talk about warm, we'll talk about real relationships, real friendships, like the ones that you have in your own circle of friends, not like you're getting a cold email to your inbox from someone you've never heard before. So, you want to get started with warm outreach. Here's how you can get started even today. Number 1, warm intros. Warm intros are when you know someone well enough for them to introduce you to your prospect. Let's say you want to speak with Mr. Hammond, the marketing director InGen. You don't have a relationship with him. When you look at InGen, you can see Ellie, sales director, who you actually used to work with at your previous company. You can reach out to Ellie where you've got that relationship and ask her for that introduction to Mr. Hammond. She knows you, she trusts you, she knows you wouldn't just be approaching everyone and trying to sell anything. If you're willing to speak with Mr. Hammond, it must be because you really think it could benefit him, and Ellie believes that as well. Now, Ellie may say she can't help me, but even that can be helpful. Maybe she says, hey, we're using this piece of software already, we've got 2 years left, there's no point you speaking with Mr. Hammond yet, let's wait a few months. Or, hey, he's incredibly busy at the moment, he's on holiday, makes more sense waiting a month. So even a no is actually a step closer, unlike cold calling where a no is, well, I'm one step closer to a yes, but not in this account. I'm a step closer to a random yes, just if I keep going. But let's assume that Ellie helps me out here. She introduces me to Mr. Hammond. Now, the trust that Ellie has in me is transferred over to Mr. Hammond. We're starting off that relationship with already a level of implicit trust because we both know Ellie and Ellie believes in both of us. So now, this sales conversation isn't starting with, hey, do you have 30 seconds? This is actually a sales call. Feel free to hang up or jump out the window, which you're seeing from some SDRs out there. And instead, you're saying, hey, we've been introduced. You know you can trust me. I think my solution could help you. Can we talk for 15 minutes to see if we're a good fit? But have you ever wondered how many Ellies you have out there? How many people are out there willing to introduce you that are actually connected to your target buyer right now? Well, that's why we built Commsor. Commsor helps you manage and activate your network. We help you find warm intros by showing you who knows who and how strong their connection is. So the next time you're about to send that cold email or make that cold call, why don't you first check Commsor? See if there's a warm intro that instead can walk you right up to the buyer introduce you and say, you should listen to this person. I trust them. So that's one, how warm intros can help you find warm revenue. But what if you want to reach out to someone that you don't necessarily have a mutual connection with yet? This brings us to number 2, coffee chats. Okay, I know you're sitting there thinking, Christian, I'm trying to sell, not drink more coffee. I already drink enough coffee and I'm stressed enough working in sales. But hear me out. Just start by immersing yourself where your ICP lives. Is it Discord? Is it TikTok? Is it LinkedIn? Is it a different community platform? Find out where they live, immerse yourself, and just try and start learning from people. One of the best deals I ever closed all started because I saw that the prospect had actually been a consultant to one of my favorite video games when I was a kid, Football Manager. I say kid, I still play it today. I sent him a message saying, hey, I saw that you worked on this. That's amazing. I can also see that you're cycling for prostate cancer and trying to raise money. I've donated £10, love what you're doing, would love to talk to you about what we're building over at our business, but if now's not the right time, best of luck with the cycle. Fast forward a week, we had a call where all we did was talk about the category. I didn't try and sell him what we were building. Instead, it was all about explaining what the space is like and what we could learn from each other. Fast forward a month, he now realized the need for a platform. Fast forward another month, we were the front runner and we were chosen. And actually now, 3 years on, I'm still friends with that buyer. We've gone to football games together since then. Remember, this shouldn't be done in a manipulative or phony way. You're trying to find genuine common ground between you and your prospect. Maybe it's not there with some people, but you can still share what you know about the space and learn from each other to help your career, and maybe less about making friendships with them. So, you've had the coffee chat. That takes us to step 3. Nurturing the relationship is all about seeing that person in front of you as a complete whole person. They are not just a prospect in your ICP. They are John, 35, 2 kids, lives in Missouri, favorite sport, favorite team, dog is named Rex. This is what you can be thinking about when you're building these relationships. So you may see that we talk about gifting as being an effective approach here. We're not just saying sending a $5 Amazon card or Starbucks card that can't even buy a drink anymore. And we're certainly not saying, hey, here's a free pair of headphones if you take a demo with my colleague. That's not going to work. What we're talking about is really understanding that person in front of you and giving them something that may be small, but means a lot to them. If you know they've got a dog on a favorite team and you see a place that personalizes collars, and you can have that favorite team on a dog collar sent over to them, they're going to remember that. And every time they look at their dog and smile with it, they're going to think of you. The moment they're then back in that buying process, who do you think they're going to reach out to? I'm not telling you anything new here. I mean, Dale Carnegie wrote about this years ago. I highly recommend the book. And just like Dale spoke about all those years ago, good business is about nurturing good relationships. There's a famous saying in the fundraising world, which is ask for advice, get money, ask for money, get advice. I think it's the same in relationships. Give and you'll receive and you'll give. Be a part of that in your own network and you'll see the magic unfold.